It's Waxing Lyrical Baby.
Hello, Waxers, and welcome to Waxing Lyrical Mains and Duts. I'm your host, Mains, my colleague, a man who fully understands the difficulties of Germans when they go into Russia. It's Mr. Neil Dutton. How are we, Neil?
I'd just like to apologise to the three people who listen to this show on a regular basis for the heavy breathing that I was responsible for on the last podcast. It did harken back to those halcyon days of yore when I seemed intent on doing a Darth Vader impression for every show.
I just assumed that you thought you'd go old school back with the Darth Vader impression. Is that not the case?
No, it was. I don't know why it happened, and I hope it doesn't happen again.
Well, I'm sure as you said, the three people who listen, they hope that it also doesn't happen again. Week off last week, scheduling conflicts and difficulties. Back
Laziness.
This week. Sorry?
Laziness.
That's the same thing as scheduling conflicts, right? Back this week, on the show, a couple of classic weird worlds, which I think Neil and I can both relate to. Definitely one of them, and we'll let you decide which one that is. And then Neil came up with the cracking idea to think of, for the 32 teams, who is the face of that franchise? And if we know who we think it is, who we actually think it should be as well.
I do occasionally have good ideas. I just try not to advertise them all the time.
Yeah, well, if you have loads of good ideas, then people will think that you have to keep on coming up with them.
Absolutely.
And that is never a good move.
No.
So let's get straight on with the show, Neil, and go dive head first into Weird World. You have two daughters. How old are they?
5 and 2.
This is going to be a perfect story if you have three boys. They are 3, 8, and 10. So two men are a bit old for this, but here's the headline. 5-year-old knocks over sculpture. Family gets billed for £99,000. We all know how clumsy toddlers can be, but what would you do if your little one broke an expensive sculpture in a gallery and you were asked to foot the bill? That's exactly what happened to one mother in Kansas, USA, when her 5-year-old son knocked over a £99,000 sculpture at the Tomahawk Ridge Community Center. The family had been at the center for a wedding reception that afternoon and were getting ready to leave. The boy's mother, Sarah Goodman, received a letter from the insurance company representing the center 1 month later explaining the sculpture was damaged beyond repair. The letter said, "This loss occurred when your son was in a closed area of property and toppled a glass sculpture. Under common law in Kansas, you're responsible for the supervision of a minor child, and your failure to monitor them during the loss could be considered negligent."
Yeah.
So in Kansas, Neil, never take your eyes off your two daughters.
Well, I try not to anyway. But this just, is further ammunition for people when they say, "We're terribly sorry, but children aren't invited for this wedding." Especially if you're going to have it in places like art galleries, where there are expensive things aplenty.
Yeah, it's definitely for the no kids wedding parties. They definitely get a win on this one. Although, it does strike me that, and I'm not, it's a wedding, so I'm assuming some people may drink alcohol. As I've been at many parties with yourself, I hope if this area wasn't closed enough, there's a possibility that me or you may have accidentally tripped, fell, and smashed it ourselves.
Well, yes, in which case it's just handy to, accept that someone of your bloodline was responsible for the damage, and while you can bitch and moan about it being your offspring, you're happy for them to take the blame while you quietly foot the bill.
£99,000 is a serious wedding gift.
Well, £5 a month.
From now until eternity?
No, it's not eternity, but it doesn't matter because, the world will end soon anyway, so all bets are off.
So you're just saying I'll pay it in instalments under the assumption that the apocalypse is coming?
Yes.
Okay.
And then maybe encourage the art gallery to smash up all their exhibits, in which case it's a faulty premise and I don't know where I'm going with it, so let's move on.
Next story, Dutton. Let's be honest. It wouldn't be a weird world without a story from Florida.
Lowrider.
It's the greatest place for weird world stories. And Kimberly Bingham Dunn, as the woman is about to be known.
No, that's a law firm.
Yeah, well, she needs a law firm after this story. No way she was letting a strange husband take the air conditioning, so she shot him in the testicles, cops say. Kimberly Dunn lost her cool when her soon-to-be ex-husband, I'm not sure if the fact that she shot him in the testicles made him soon-to-be ex-husband, or he was a soon-to-be ex-husband and then she shot him, will carry on, tried to take the air conditioning unit out of her Florida home. As someone who's been to Florida, that is a bad move. It's not like you live in, Rainford when it's never sunny. So,
No.
If it is sunny, it's 3 days a year and you can open a window. Like in Florida, you need it.
If you're taking aircon from sun in Florida, say you better be tooled for bear.
Well, so she shot him in the testicles. She was arrested over that back in October, but that's not why she's in jail now, Dutton. Instead, the North Florida woman was booked into Columbia Community Jail on Tuesday on a contempt of court charge for failing to show up in court on an aggravated battery charge. So she shot her estranged husband in the testicles after he tried to take the AC unit out of her home in Lake City.
Okay.
He came to her home with his brother to pick up the unit after he found out she was trying to sell it on Facebook.
Okay.
So I think what we need to say here, so not only she isn't shooting him because he's stealing it per se, she's shooting him because he's taking it so she can't make money by selling it.
Okay.
She allegedly pulled, it gets better. She allegedly pulled out a pink stun gun and tried to zap her estranged husband. That did not work. But the handgun she also pulled, according to the police, found its mark.
Well, yeah, it will do.
So what? I think there's a few things we need to go from there. There's a woman who lives on her own in Florida. She's got a handgun and a stun gun. I think what we should be pleased with, that it seems that manufacturers of stun guns are equal opportunities and cater to both genders, because they do pink stun guns. That's really good. I really like the fact that you can get your daughter a stun gun in the colour that she would like.
Men can fire pink stun guns as well, mate. Let's not be that guy.
Yeah, true. Very good point, Neil. People who like pink can fire stun guns because they make them in pink.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case your pink stun gun doesn't work, you can get a handgun out and shoot people instead.
I would imagine it's probably easier to get the handgun than the stun gun.
Yeah, probably.
Unless it was pink.
So don't forget the man went with his brother, right? So how does the brother get his brother out of the thing after he's been shot?
Quickly?
The man's brother allegedly choked the woman until she passed out, and he took the husband to the hospital, but not before the injured man picked up the gun and brought it back with him.
No, take the AC unit, not the gun.
So in a scene similar to which that you would see in a comedy show on Fox, a man goes into a house to steal an AC unit, gets into a fight. The woman attempts to shoot him with a pink stun gun, fails, pulls out a handgun, shoots him. His brother then chokes out said woman till she's unconscious, so him and his brother can escape. His brother doesn't then get the AC unit that he went for in the first place, but picks up the handgun. Ladies and gentlemen, I know for people of the UK, you think Florida is just Mickey Mouse and Universal Studios. You couldn't be more wrong.
That's correct. It's not a place where dreams come true. It's a place where, well, some people's dreamscape is dangerously far from reality.
As always, we love the weird whale stories. The best part of the off season gives us time to laugh at those less fortunate than ourselves. If you've got any stories that you want to share with us, I'm on Twitter. I'm at Mandy7. Neil is at ndutton13, and combined we are at Waxing_Lyrical.
Indeed, we are.
To the NFL portion of the show tonight, Neil, and we wanted to talk faces of the franchise. Do you want to explain the concept as it's yours?
Well, the idea I just had was, when it comes to promoting a franchise, which player would a team be most happy holding up as, not just their best player, but maybe, the embodiment of the values of that team. Basically the player of, this is the guy who we want to sell the most shirts for. People want to come in and get the photo taken with him. This guy is Mr. Patriots, Dolphins, Bills, whatever. So it's just an idea of, of the 32 teams, which players would that team, in our head, if we think of that team, what player do we think of? Could be for a good reason, could be for a bad reason.
This could get quite interesting because I think there's a couple of mine who may not meet the criteria of societal members who should be held up as virtue members. But there we go. We'll go from there. Let's start with the AFC. Stutton, please talk to me about the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills, on mine, is blank. Because this nondescript franchise, you could think of LaShawn McCoy, but is he going to be there that long? There's rumours that he may get traded this season. Is it going to be Josh Allen? He's not that good. This team got to the playoffs a year ago, but I honestly just don't see what direction they're going in. So I honestly couldn't confidently give you a name.
So I didn't know the blank was a response. So I'm going to give you a name. It is Shady McCoy, because if it's the guy that you hold up as your best player, the one everybody wants a picture with, the person who wants to sell shirts to, then it's Shady. It should be Josh Allen. I can't stress this enough, and I know people who like draft nicks and whatever. Like you actually don't know if Josh Allen's good or bad. Do you know how I know that? Because he's never played in the NFL. So
no, I can confidently tell you.
No, you can't. You can't, because I could name a load of players who were drafted really high, who everyone thought was going to be really good, who weren't. So you actually don't know if he's good or not. They've drafted him. No, honestly. No, really. Really, you have no idea.
Terrible in college, he's going to be terrible in the NFL. And as friend Matthew Kelly says, in 3 years, he'll be a backup tight end.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's not his projection. What I'm saying is you don't know if he'll be good in the NFL or not. He could be terrible, he could be good. So the Buffalo Bills, he's got to be their face of the franchise. He should be the face of the franchise. Will he be? I highly doubt it. I do highly doubt it. I'm not saying he is any good. But, based on first round quarterbacks, there's a 50% chance he's going to be good. Next one, Dutton. If you thought the Buffalo Bills was a fun one to answer, can you tell me who the Miami Dolphins is?
Well, Miami Dolphins, as I say, we can't pin it on a quarterback because he's crap, and we don't know how long he's going to be there. They got rid of most of their skill position players. So I thought, well, it's a team leader, it's someone who's well respected and has been at or near the top of his game for a long time. So I went with Cameron Wake.
See, I think if they said it, if you're the Miami Dolphins, they say it's Ryan Tannehill. Issue with that is talent. It should be Miami native, king of the U, even though he's been there 37 seconds, Frank Gore.
It should.
It won't be.
No,
I think it should be.
Yeah, especially when he retires in October.
Well, yeah, but then he'll retire as a member of the U.
Right.
Yeah, Miami stinks. Is there any way that you're going to tell me that Tom Terrific isn't the New England Patriots face of the franchise?
I don't bet on sure things.
That's the most obvious one, right? I think Tom Terrific is got to be the easy. Is this? Do you think this is the easiest one? I think this was the easiest one I had. Or Green
it's
Bay.
Certainly up there. It's certainly up there.
Can I ask who you did for the final one in the AFC East then, Neil? Who was your face of the franchise for the New York Football Jets?
In keeping with your theory of how the Bills should go, but actually the Jets have someone who actually is a good football player, it should be Sam Darnold.
So yeah, it has to, I mean, at the moment, as we stand right now, it's Joe Namath. That's the face of the franchise, and that kind of sums up the New York Jets for the past 35 years. It has to be Sam Darnold. I would like a player who holds the ball, and then throws it to players rather than throws it on the floor. That's a personal preference of mine. As someone who watched USC a few times, he has a tendency not to do that. It has to be Sam Darnold. That's the point of the enterprise, right? It should be Sam Darnold. At the moment, they haven't got one. And, they've had some, like Chad Pennington and Curtis Martin and Joe Namath. And that's about it.
I mean, you can, of course, go back to the New York Sack Exchange, where, this team, basically, its identity was its great defense. But, again, that's one blip since the Joe Namath era.
But even that, Neil, they were an entity rather than an individual. So the face of the franchise will be multiple faces. Like, I can say this because, my team, who we'll get onto later, their face of the franchise for a considerable period of time were the Hogs. They weren't a person, they were an entity. If we move over to the AFC North, Neil, let's start with the Baltimore Ravens.
Now, they should have some degree of loyalty to their all-time leader in terms of passing yards, passing touchdowns, the quarterback who took them to a Super Bowl title. But it's not going to be Joe Flacco. It has to be Lamar Jackson. Because, again, this team's defensive faces, they're getting on. They don't have Ed Reed anymore. T-Sizzle isn't T-Sizzle anymore. CJ Mosley, no, he's not been the next Ray Lewis. So if this is a team where you think, well, they're going to have to go on offense, well, then it should be the fella who'll be running that offense from next season. So it should be Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I've gone similar, Neil. At the moment, he won a Super Bowl and he's their highest paid player. And in that Super Bowl, he was amazing. So it would be Joe Flacco. In the Super Bowl run, he was amazing, sorry. It needs to be Lamar Jackson by about week 12. As Joe Flacco's done and has been for about 2 years. So, whereas we can joke about Josh Allen at the Buffalo Bills, the Baltimore Ravens kind of lucked out here with Lamar Jackson, sorry. So they need to make that work because there's a chance that he can be special. My concern is, although it's an easy stereotype to make, is that he may have he has essence of RG3.
Well, who better to talk him through those troubles
than
RG3?
Who won't be on the roster by the start of the season.
He won't be on the roster by midway through training camp. Let's be realistic here.
True. Neil, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
See, it was a toss-up between Ben Roethlisberger, who is a very, very good quarterback, obviously, probably borderline Hall of Fame. But then you've got potentially the best wide receiver of the modern era, not named Jerry Rice. And I think Antonio Brown, despite his diva level going up in recent years, is just a more likeable figure than Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, there's many things that Ben Roethlisberger is, and likeable is not on that list. It probably is Ben Roethlisberger. It absolutely should be Antonio Brown. Because let's be brutally honest, one of the things you'd want your face of the franchise to be is likable, and Big Ben is not.
No,
I don't even think Pittsburgh Steelers fans really like Big Ben. Do you know what I mean? Probably sick of his antics by now. So I would say it should be Antonio Brown.
Hardworking blue-collar people generally don't like, it's all about me, I love the drama people. And that's what Ben Roethlisberger is, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Neil, the Cleveland Browns.
Steaming horse shit? I honestly don't know.
See, for me, this is easy. I didn't know who it was. And then I was on Twitter this week, or last week, sorry. And I saw an exchange between one Colin Cowherd and one Baker Mayfield. Therefore, this is simple, really simple. Baker Mayfield is the face of the franchise. I love his what cojones, his moxie, his intestinal fortitude, and other such wrestling parlances. I just want it to work. Can we all just hope it works?
Hope is to quote, who was it? Was it Theodred in Lord of the Ring? Hope has forsaken this land. It is folly.
Probably is. But if it isn't Baker Mayfield, it's a wasteland. It really is a wasteland. There's some decent players, but like talent, not really.
Well, it's who do you hang your hat on? Who are you getting people to come and watch? They're not coming to watch Jarvis Landry, I assure you.
Yeah, exactly. Final team in the AFC North, Neil, the Cincinnati Bengals.
AJ Green, probably the most talented skill player since, I don't know, Ocho Cinco.
Yeah, I've gone AJ Green in. I don't really think it's close. I am # Team Ginge. Don't get me wrong, but let's be honest. AJ Green's next level talent, next world talent. Interesting one now, Neil, on AFC South. Let's start with the Houston Texans.
It's JJ Watt. He's still the heartbeat of that team. He's an emotional leader, and we already know what he means to the community by his deeds off the field. Deshaun Watson obviously is, the team will come and go as him, but JJ Watt is the 99 on the program, but number one in the heart of the Texans.
Yeah, I put JJ Watt. I think it should be Deshaun Watson now. Going forward, like JJ Watt, as you said, you can't talent. What he's done for the community, unbelievable. But going forward, this team needs to transition from defense to offense. And the stats of when Deshaun Watson was playing last year and when he weren't are stark. So they have a otherworldly talent, it seems, on their hands. They need to nurture it, and they need to make him the face of the franchise for the next decade. But
we've both immediately just skipped over, it seems, without any consideration for one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, but I haven't ignored DeAndre Hopkins. He would be third. But in terms of who I'd want as my face of the franchise, I'd want Watt or Watson. The reason we're picking AJ Green for the Cincinnati Bengals as a wide receiver is because we have to. If they had in Pittsburgh, it's Ben Roethlisberger, even though we want it to be Antonio Brown. There's a reason we pick those positions, if you know what I mean. If we're picking someone who isn't a quarterback, you probably got an issue with quarterback.
True.
Indianapolis Colts, Neil.
Andrew Luck.
It's got to be, hasn't it? And basically, it just proves that this franchise has been dead for 2 years, and now there's signs of life. The arm went down twice, and he's in the sleep hold, but that arm is just shaking, and he's getting back to his knee.
Yeah, the team basically comes and goes with Andrew Luck. He's been the only consistent newsworthy item for 2 years without ever throwing a damn pass. So he's obviously the face of the franchise.
Yeah, what else do you want me to say? He's the best player. He's been the best player. When he's in the team, they usually win 10+ games. When he's not in the team, they don't. So, kind of goes without saying. Interesting one for me, Neil. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Young, brash, upcoming, strong on defense. Jalen
Ramsey. Yeah, that's who I picked as well. Again, it's a ringing endorsement of the quarterback position in Jacksonville that we're picking a brash cornerback, sorry. But why wouldn't you pick him? Elephant in the room here, Neil. Love cocky players who can back it up. Love a load of mouth. Love a load of lip. As long as you've got game.
You've kept this to yourself.
So he was, to be honest, he was one of the easiest ones to write in this. Final team in the AFC South, Neil. That's the Tennessee Titans.
It's the player that the new coaching staff have been brought in to fix because everything goes through him. It's Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this goes without saying. If you watch them under Chip Kelly at Oregon and you watch him in flashes in Tennessee, it's got to be Marcus Mariota. And as you said, one of the reasons there's a new coaching staff in Tennessee is basically due to the fact they need to make Marcus Mariota why they drafted him to.
And won that particular draft.
Right now. Right now they did. Final division in the AFC done, and that's the AFC West. Let's start with the Denver Broncos.
It's Von Miller, because again, this team, it's based on the defense, and the strength of this team is the defense, and the defensive leader is Von Miller.
Yeah, I've gone for Von Miller as well. This team won a Super Bowl on its defense, because their quarterback had passed the sell-by date at that point.
He passed away.
yeah, basically. And Von Miller was the star of that team, and the offense hasn't really improved since then. Not 100% sure it's going to improve this season. So yeah, absolutely, I think it's Von Miller. Kansas City Chiefs, Neil.
This is a tough one because again, it should be Patrick Mahomes, but their best players are Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. But Tyreek Hill, obviously still has some past concerns about his previous behaviour. And Travis Kelce, for as good a player as he is actually a douchebag. The number of personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct penalty he gets. So again, I don't think he's the image you want on your season tickets. So I would lean towards Mahomes.
I thought it might be Kareem Hunt, given the fact that I couldn't bring myself to say Tyreek Hill, given, as you said, issues, and as Travis Kelce's a douche. But I think it should be Patrick Mahomes. The problem is we don't know if it's Patrick Mahomes because, he's played one game. So, I think Kansas City want it to be Patrick Mahomes. The reason I think they want it to be Patrick Mahomes is because Alex Smith isn't there anymore. So I think it's got to be. But yeah, at the moment it's probably Kareem Hunt, but I'm not sure. To be honest, the face of the franchise right now is a big fat dude with a tash. That's Andy Reid.
Loves barbecue.
Loves and what a place to be, Kansas City. Neil, the Los Angeles Chargers, and yes, I said Los Angeles.
Well done, Phil Rivers.
Yeah, it's Phil Rivers.
Just because he fills the stadium with his brood.
Well, yeah, I was going to say they increased the stadium capacity by 50% if all of Phil Rivers' kids turn up, which is always a good move. He's also tremendously talented and has dragged them to many, many victories. They are talented this year. I'm hoping for good things from the Chargers.
Let's not do this. We've done this with the Buccaneers. Let's not do this with the Chargers. Let's just let it happen.
Okay, let's let it happen. Okay. On to the NFC East, Dutton. Who is the face of the franchise for the Dallas Cowboys?
Are the Oakland Raiders now in the NFC East?
Oh, sorry, I forgot about the Oakland Raiders. Let's do the Oakland Raiders then.
Should be Derek Carr. Gruden's talked up Amari Cooper. It's probably Khalil Mack.
Okay, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the face of the franchise for the Oakland Raiders is not a player.
Marshawn Lynch. No, it's Gruden.
It's John Gruden. It's going to be about John Gruden for a long, long time now.
No, for 2 years.
Well, they're going to be paying him for a long... Sorry, let me rephrase. Yeah. He's going to be talked about being paid for a long, long time. Yeah, it could be Derek Carr. It could be Amari Cooper. It could be Khalil Mack. It's not. It's John Gruden. Do you know that? They're paying him $10 million a year.
Imagine having that amount of money to waste.
But the thing is, in NFL terms, like the Davises are not rich.
No, they're not.
So Mark Davis is spunking a lot of his money on that.
But we know he saved money on haircuts, so at least he's got it to spend.
True. Right, this time, let's get on to the NFC. Dallas Cowboys, Neil.
It's Ezekiel Elliott, but again, as in terms of upstanding citizenship, he's really not. Unfortunately, he's the ideal poster boy for that franchise.
I put Zeke Elliott as well. It should be Dak Prescott. And I think long term, the Cowboys need it to be Dak Prescott. Because there's a couple of reasons why. There's the Zeke Elliott upstanding citizen issue, and there's the Zeke Elliott, I'm a running back, so I'll only last for a certain amount of time issue. Dak Prescott, if he returns to rookie form, is the face of the franchise, but he needs to do that because otherwise, they're in a position to be like the New York Giants, who we'll get onto in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we'll get onto them now, Neil. New York Giants, who's the face of the franchise?
Has, of course, for a long time been Eli Manning. It won't be Odell Beckham, because, as I say, he won't be there in 2019. So it'll be the running back they drafted second overall.
Yeah, so what I've written down, Neil, is Eli Manning, but it should be the quarterback they drafted second in the first round this year. So whoever that quarterback was, that should be the face of the New York Giants franchise. But they didn't do that, so it's still Eli Manning. Both of those statements are major issues for the New York Football Giants.
It is that time of year where friend of the show Jimmy Kempski does his 10 reasons why NFC's team will be a dumpster fire. His New York Giants edition is quite spectacular. Although it's technically not 10 points, as I think at least 5 of them just keep going back to the offensive line.
Yeah, well, you're saying that's not very good. Who knew? Neil, who is your face of the franchise? It's upside down. That 11 Wentz is upside down. See what I've written down is Wentz should be Big Dick Nick.
Yeah, but it's not. And it won't be.
It won't be. It won't be. It is Carson Wentz, the guy. It is the quarterback who didn't win the Super Bowl, not the quarterback who did.
Yeah.
That's it for the NFC East.
I think you found it isn't.
And I think you found it might be.
I don't know either.
It's Josh Norman for Washington.
No, it's Dan Snyder. Face of the franchise is still maniacal, meddling moron.
The ironic thing about that is I can't argue with you, first of all. And the fact that he's somehow maniacal and gets in the way and been a pox on the franchise for 20 years. And I don't think I've heard him say more than 5 words. Whereas in same division, we somehow managed to pick 2 players and not loudmouth Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Because Jerry Jones, acknowledges that he's never going to let someone else come in and do the job, whereas Snyder keeps fooling himself that he is. But ultimately he comes down and says, I want to do it. Which is why Kirk Cousins is in Minnesota, and they traded a promising young cornerback for a 34-year-old quarterback coming off a major outlier season. You can have Ryan Kerrigan if you want.
Literally cannot wait to watch Red Zone all year and not Washington. It's going to be awesome.
You can have Ryan Kerrigan if you want, but we all know I'm right.
Yeah, it is. I want it to be Ryan Kerrigan. It is Josh Norman. Secretly, it's Dan Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that Dustin Hopkins kicking them 70-yard field goals? Like Colt McCoy tweeted it out, and then there's just me saying, can't wait for him to miss that 32-yarder against Philly.
Exactly.
Like,
you can keep booing him from there, Dustin. You won't be called upon. But it's when there's 37 yards out again.
It's not. Oh look, it's It's 21-9 here in Philadelphia. Philadelphia have scored on plays of 60, 72 and 55, and Washington have field goals of 24, 26 and 33. Washington's offensive production mirrors Philadelphia, apart from one thing: they can't get in the flipping end zone.
But Alex Smith is completing 85% of his passes.
And Jamison Crowder is the greatest PPR player of all time.
The new Jarvis Landry.
Moving on to the NFC North, Neil. We may as well get on to carry on talking about Washington. Who's the Minnesota Vikings race of the franchise?
Yeah, it's Kirk Cousins, because it has to be. They got the best quarterback season out of Case Keenum and fell just short of the Super Bowl, so they've upgraded. So clearly the upgrade on that is you're the man because you're going to take us that next step. By the way, this
good luck everyone in Minnesota. I wish you all the best.
This division is actually a piece of piss, and we should just blitz through it because they're all blatantly obvious.
Yeah. Minnesota fans, I wish you luck. I do. And I like Kirk Cousins. I do like Kirk Cousins. I think you're going to enjoy disappointment, though.
Oh, they do enjoy disappointment. They can't get enough of it.
Well, they're going to. I think it will continue.
They're still pissing and moaning about that walk to the link.
Detroit Lions, Neil.
Stafford.
Yeah, it goes out saying. The easiest one for me, Green Bay Packers.
Some bloke called Aaron.
Some bloke called Aaron Rodgers. Chicago Bears.
Has to be Mitchell Trubisky, because again, that's what the coaching staff have been brought in to fix.
Yeah, so I put Mitchell Trubisky should be Matt Nagy, because Matt Nagy is going to make Mitchell Trubisky the face of the franchise.
I like what you've done there.
See, yeah, thank you. Similarly easy group, the NFC South, kind of, until we get to one of the teams, maybe. NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it be? He's the quarterback. Carolina Panthers.
Cam Newton.
Again, why wouldn't it be? And what a face. And you get to have some exceptional clothing attire with that face.
I have missed his post-match press conferences attires.
The New Orleans Saints.
Drew Brees.
Still Drew Brees. Still, yeah. Miami Dolphin fans still trying to work out how he failed that shoulder injury medical, as he's been playing for New Orleans for about 25 years since then.
Yeah, back to
throwing
college.
70,000 yards every season.
Off to Alabama with you, Mr. Saban.
Yeah. To be fair, worked out well for all parties, apart from the Miami Dolphins.
And Dante Culpepper.
And finally, Neil, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. When did you write this? Because we were going to do this last week. Did you write Jameis Winston like I wrote Jameis Winston? And then went, oh, look, he's an absolute buffoon. Again, I may add. So now it's Mike Evans.
No, it's still Jameis Winston, because this is a dysfunctional franchise. So who better to be the face of it? Although, as I say, the idea that Lawrence Taylor is coming out and saying that Jameis Winston should know better, do us a favour, LT. Back in your box, eh?
I was going to say, hi, this is Irony calling. Is Lawrence there? Trying to get irony. Yeah, let's
you
not.
Know that, it's as I say, when I wrote this 2 weeks ago, the curse of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers never giving a quarterback they drafted a second contract, it looked like it was over. Whereas now, when they're 0-3 without him, and he can't arrest the slide, and it costs Dirk Cotter his job, and a new guy comes in and starts thinking, this fella's he's a tit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's just not a very nice person, and I think we should have known that from when we had him in Florida State.
Yeah, it's as I say, how many give people enough chances to show you their true colours, and they eventually will.
Final division, Neil, and that is the NFC West. We're going to start with the Arizona Cardinals.
This is a tough one. Because
I don't think it is.
You're going with it should be the quarterback?
No,
or is it Patrick
I'm actually
Peterson?
not. I'm actually not. I don't think it's Josh Rosen yet, no.
Patrick Peterson?
No, I think it's Larry Fitzgerald.
Of course.
Until sometime as he is retired. Like, I know he's now not as good as he was, and there are flaws and whatever, but it's still Larry Fitzgerald, and he's still the face of the franchise. And I still think if you went to Scottsdale and asked them to went to all the Dick's Sporting Goods and asked them which shirt they sold the most, I still think it's Larry Fitzgerald.
Even though, as I say, he's now, what was it, 34, and he's not as quick as he was. He's taken an awful lot of punishment, and he's primarily a slot receiver now. The idea of the Eagles playing against the Cardinals and him being on the field still scares the living piss out of me.
I think it always will do, Neil. There's certain players in certain teams. He is 34, and he's actually 35 in August.
Happy birthday, Larry.
Yeah. Yeah. But if we look, he's caught 1,200 passes for 15,500 yards, averaging 12.6 yards a catch with 110 touchdowns.
And let's look at some of the quarterbacks who've thrown him the ball.
Exactly.
It's not. That's where sport is not fair.
Oh yeah, it's the. I mean, he got multiple years of Kurt Warner, right? Mm-hmm. So when he's having that conversation with Andre Johnson about crap quarterbacks, he needs to take a step back. But still, he got a lot of garbage.
A lot of people who have been better deployed as night shift managers at Costco.
Night shift managers at Toys R Us now, Neil, i.e. should be unemployed.
Ooh.
LA Rams.
Gurley. Best player.
Yeah, I think it's Gurley. I secretly, I actually don't think it's Gurley. But you watch them and you see all the stuff about them, and it's Sean McVay. Because at the moment, he's seen as a genius.
I should highly recommend the book by Bobby Peters regarding the LA Rams' third down offense last year. It looks at what plays they called, how often they used them, why they're good plays, why they worked and why they didn't. If you like the X's and O's part of the game, it's absolutely fascinating.
San Francisco 49ers.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's, the question is not whether he's the face of the franchise. It's whether he's the face of the NFL since the beginning of time.
He is one handsome bastard.
And I'm one of the greatest players to ever put a helmet on by the looks of things as well.
Exactly. I mean, very, very few people could come into this moribund offense and lead it to so many field goals on such short notice.
Exactly, Neil. Exactly. Don't let the facts get in the way of an amazing narrative, Neil.
Absolutely.
Please. Final team, and an easy one. Seattle Seahawks.
Well, clearly it's Rashard Penny, as he's the most important player on this team, which is why they've gone out their way to bring him in and make him the focal point of this offense, despite the fact they have Russell Wilson. I mean, let's be honest. We're not going. This isn't a divisional preview or whatnot, but let's call a spade a spade. You hire Brian Schottenheimer as your offensive coordinator. What's the ceiling of that appointment?
What are you hoping to get out of it? The ceiling is the floor. I think.
Yeah, the ceiling is the floor, and the floor is lava. So it's Russell Wilson, but my God, this team goes out the way to not make it. So.
I think some, and as you said, it's not a division preview, so we'll just say it's Russell Wilson. But when we do get onto the NFC West as a division preview, we'll probably discuss how difficult it is to become good, and how easy it is to become really, really bad. Yeah,
and one of the first steps is when you start dialing a number for someone called Schottenheimer in the 21st century.
Yeah, true. 32 teams, Neil, 32 faces. mostly similar, which is good considering we didn't share them, which shows there's some logic to it. If you've got some and you don't agree with us, tweet us at waxing_lyrical and let us know who you think will be the face of your franchise.
Exactly. As I say, this is just, a fair amount of this is looking back. Some of them it's looking forward. But, it's an interesting thought exercise because it's, as we say, at the moment we're still picking about for things to talk about. We are getting close to training camp starting, and then it'll be more interesting. But at the moment, it's this or nothing.
We are careering headlong into divisional preview time, Neil, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
We will look to do a podcast per division. If possible, even get some guests on to help talk about some teams in those divisions.
Absolutely. I think we have come to the point of the show where we have to address the career choices or future careers of friends of the show, as there appear to be quite a few of them in the last few days. Obviously, Matt Harmon is leaving NFL.com to go to Yahoo. So he'll be joining, another friend of the show, Liz Loza. So their content straight away has got better. And friend Alex Gelhar, who I have enjoyed a beverage with, leaving sport writing entirely to enlist in law school to try and make a difference to a society that he perceives as injured. So, fabulous gesture, fabulous cause, but, it's as someone put, there was a picture of the NFL fantasy stronghold, as it were. There's a picture of James Coe, Marcus Grant, the franchise, Harmon and Gelhar, and people started fading out. Now I know that that's a reference to the end of Infinity War.
Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, including Neil, who hasn't seen it.
Yeah, but I know what it is.
Well done. I just want to say
I'm on top.
We love Matt. He's brilliant, and we hope to interview him again as Yahoo's Matt Harmon in terms of Alex. He's better man than me or you, and we wish him all the luck, and we hope that he is able to assist in fixing a broken country.
Amen.
Neil, that's it from us this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. As we always say, you want to interact with us. Neil is at ndutton13. I am at Mainsy7. For those who follow me for NFL, I apologise. There's a lot of World Cup going on right now. Together we are at waxing_lyrical. And let's be honest, these top guys are out.